Rugby League has got nothing on Rugby Union. Rugby League doesn't even come close to Rugby Union at international level. Times that by 10 and you've got the Rugby World Cup. Times that by another 10 and you're hosting a Rugby World Cup. The biggest of the big stages in the sporting calendar, and Australia are hosting it in 2027. And best believe they'll be luring some rugby league players over to help them. When a big opportunity like that gets thrown at you, and not just at you, on your doorstep as well in Australia, you'd be stupid not to take it. There's a few rugby league players that can definitely add value to the Wallabies setup and can help them be successful at the next Rugby World Cup. Joseph Suaalii is one of those league players that has already made the jumping last year, coming over to Union, making an instant impact with the Wallabies and New South Wales Waratahs. Covers positions 11, 12, 13, 14 and fullback. He has been playing most of his Wallabies career at 13, one of the most difficult positions to play at. And he's not only just been covering those positions, he's been covering it with quality. All class, can do it all, run strong with the ball, defends really well, kicks well, can jump up in the air and contest those high kicks really well as well. And while I do think there is a few players in rugby league right now that can add value or do wonders for the Wallabies team, I've picked 3 players that are currently playing in the NRL that I think could add massive value to the Wallabies leading up to and in the 2027 Rugby World Cup when they host it here in Australia. But before we get into that, you might be thinking, oh, it's another one of those clickbait or another one of those just talk it up videos. But it isn't. There is some history and some support to back this up. Because you look at the last time Australia hosted the Rugby World Cup was back in 2003. And let's rewind a bit and see what happened back then. Yes, the Wallabies didn't go on to win it. They lost in extra time versus England in the final. But let's look at some of the players they brought over, Wallaby or Rugby Australia brought over from league to help out with the Wallabies. And not only help out, those guys went on to have stellar careers in rugby union, played massive roles in the Wallabies having a successful year in that Rugby World Cup, successful until the final, that is. Wendell Sailor, Matt Rogers, Lottie Takiri. All 3 of these players played a huge part in the success of the Wallabies in that 2003 Rugby World Cup. Yes, again, they did not win the Rugby World Cup, but they lost it in extra time, and it took one of the most spectacular moments in rugby history, Johnny Wilkinson to drop kick with his right foot, which is his weaker foot, to win that game. And you look at how prominent these 3 players were for the Wallabies, being first with league and then making the switch over to Union. Wendell Sailor, he was the opening try scorer in the Rugby World Cup, scoring a try versus Argentina in the opening match of the Rugby World Cup. He obviously played in the final versus England, and his performances silenced a lot of critics that doubted his selection in the squad, making the switch in 2001 from Brisbane Broncos over to the Queensland Reds, which along with it brought a lot of media hype, and he went straight into the Wallabies and had a successful rugby union career. You look at someone else in Matt Rogers, signed with the New South Wales Waratahs and Rugby AU from Cronulla Sharks in 2001, very late, made his debut for the Wallabies in 2002, still holds the record for the most points scored by an individual Wallabies player in a game, 42 points versus Namibia in the Rugby World Cup, and he played in 12 of the final tests of 2003 with the last 11 as starter, and was selected for the World Cup, mainly being the first choice fullback. And then lastly, last but not least, Lottie Takiri. I'm sure Lottie Takiri, he joined in 2003, the same year as the World Cup was. And obviously there was a lot of blowback, overcoming a lot of criticism of people that doubted his selection there. He was a prominent winger for the Wallabies, known for his exciting attacking style play. Unreal aerially, in the air, contesting those kicks, scored the first try or the opening try of the Rugby World Cup in 2003. And his defense was also exceptional. The try saver in the semi-final, forcing Muls Muliaina out into touch or to knock on over the try line. And Lote Tuqiri was also only one of 2 Wallabies to play all 14 tests in 2003. So seeing that and knowing how close to the next World Cup we are, you'd be dumb to think that there won't be more players lured over or more players at least being reached out to. There's been suggestions of Cameron Munster maybe being talked to. Mark Nwanga Nitawase has definitely put his hand up and saying that he is coming back to Union next year. Carter Gordon, who's played 1 or 2 games for the Gold Coast Titans, there's talks of him coming back as well. But here's my 3 players that are currently in the NRL that I think Rugby Australia need to go hard for to lure them over for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play a home Rugby World Cup, the biggest stage, one of the biggest sporting calendars ever. The Rugby World Cup is massive. And again, international rugby is where it's at for rugby union. All the rugby league haters, or rugby union haters, rugby league supporters, both sports can coexist for sure, but union international and league international is 2 different ball games. Union's international is on a world stage and a stage of its own. Go watch the highlights if you don't know anything about it. So one of my first players is, just off the back of winning the premiership with the Brisbane Broncos, Payne Haas. Plays prop forward. This is some of his stats this year. So he's a prop forward in league. In union, he would probably play 6 or 8. He's a big body, 117 kilos, I think, 1'9", almost 2 meters tall. This year he played 24 games, scored 3 tries, 130 tackle breaks, 1,614 post-contact meters, 15 carries a game. Still has a lovely offloading game, so he's made 70 passes throughout the season, 98% tackle success rate, and he's running at 166 meters per game. That's with ball in hand. Rugby union players, or rugby union fans, if you haven't or you don't know about Payne Haas, please Google him, please YouTube him. I'd love to put footage up here, but I will get copyrighted for it, so I'm not going to do that. So there'll just be some lovely photos going around. I think he could add so much punch to that Wallabies forward pack. Play him at 8. Yes, they've got Harry Wilson there, but this is someone that you could potentially bring off the bench and just cause havoc. He's got an engine on him. He's a big body. It's like Will Skelton, if Will Skelton was a lot more mobile and had a bigger engine. A lot more, I won't say flashy, but can throw the offload, can throw a skip pass, is strong, is mobile, is tough, and loves to get involved in the opposition. Will get up in your face and make those big tackles, make those big carries, and can go for a full 80 minutes. So I think Payne Haas is a big one there for sure. My second one, and this is more a tough sell, and I'll get to the reason why. Nathan Cleary plays in the halves for Penrith Panthers. They've come off the back of 4 straight titles. Like, if you're the flyer, that's what he plays. It's 7 in league, but in union it would be fly off, the 10. If you're the quarterback, you're the 10, coming off the back of 4 straight premierships, man, you must be doing something right. And I'm going to tell you in a minute why it is a tough sell, though, I think still. So he played 22 games, 6 tries, 79 goals, was kicking at 88% off the tee, 17 try assists, 579 kick meters per game. That's a lot. And I know they kick a lot more in league because every 5th tackle they kick, but that's good, accurate kicking. 88% tackle success rate. And he's running with the ball 97 meters per game. Why I think it is a tough sell? The only reason why is of the intricacies of being a 10 in union. It's such a different ball game than being a half or one of the halves in league. how they play the game, knowing about rucks, knowing how to work a team around the field. In league, it's so set on you kick on the fifth. You know what to look for. He's played it his whole life. In union, you can kick whenever, but you don't always want to kick if you're in the middle of the field. Do you see an opportunity to run? Do you take that opportunity? Do you rather sit back in the pocket to then kick? Do you kick an up and under? Do you play down the short side? What calls do you? Do you call your team around the field? Do you bring someone under? Are you sorting your back line out? While you're doing all of that, are you looking long for the space to kick there? Are you looking for opportunities? Your opposition on falling 10 meters or 5 meters back every time. They're right up in your face. There's a lot less time to think of those things. A lot of those kinds of intricacies. And that's why we more see rugby league wingers or fullbacks coming over to union, because they don't need to know too much of the rules. And for them, it's just catch and try and score a try, or catch and run hard, or make a tackle. They don't even, like Lottie Takiri and Wendell Saylor, weren't really good kickers of the ball. They would just catch the ball and score tries. Run the ball. And that's what you want. So that's why I think a halves player is more of a tougher sell. Matt Rogers is probably the exception. Yes, didn't always play 10, could play fullback, but had a good kick on him. Why I think Rugby Australia will be silly to go for someone like Cameron Munster. He's a gun player, don't get me that wrong. He doesn't kick well at posts. If they're going to go for someone who is in the halves, who can play with the ball, you want to at least be kicking at goal. So someone like Nathan Cleary, who is more kind of your ideal look at a 10, because he kicks exceptionally well. He looks like he's got the world's time on his hands, and he's a quality player. It would just be around how quick can he learn the game and ins and outs of being a 10 to control a team, work a team around the field. When you're under pressure, how to turn that around and turn that back on the opposition. When to kick, how to kick, just all of those kinds of things. It's a lot to think of as a 10 that's never played that game before to then go over and make a massive impact, an instant impact, really, because you won't have much time before the Rugby World Cup. And then my last one, and this is the one that I think they should go for the most. Also off the back of just winning a premiership and probably putting out one of the best individual performances in a rugby league grand final, Reese Walsh. Explosive, electric, a poster boy as well. Will be up there with Joseph Suali'i in, man, he looks good while he's good at what he does. He is electric, can pull something from nothing just whenever he wants. Fast, strong, everything you need. Kicks well as well, can kick to posts has for the Brisbane Broncos, kicks well out of hand. But what he lacks there, he brings in just ability to break games apart. He is so fast. That's scary. His agility is second to none. Tackles really well and puts his body on the line. Here's some of his stats from this year in the NRL. 21 appearances, 14 tries, 26 try assists, 113 tackle breaks, 10 line breaks, 34 line break assists, 148 average run meters. He won the premiership this year with Broncos, and he won the Clive Churchill, which is the man of the match in the final. If that's someone who can come out and make an instant impact playing at wing or fullback in union, Reese Walsh is that type of guy. So that's 3 players I have that I think Rugby Australia can go hard for and will definitely add value and impact to the Wallabies setup. Payne Haas, Nathan Cleary, Reese Walsh. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. This is just an opinion piece. There's no facts around it. Love talking about union. And the Wallabies have done this before. Rugby AU has done this before. The last time they hosted the Rugby World Cup, they brought league players in to help out, and it worked well for them. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time. Bye.